You tuned in to the 7-day theory. Hard body, hard spirit.
This is a tough one. Is India Arie right? Or is Young Miami right? We're going to get into it. Let's talk about it. 7-day. What up, my people? Hard body, hard spirit. You already know. This has been all up and down my timeline, my feed. India Arie said this, and she talked about boycott. Well, really, she didn't say boycott the song of the summer, right? It's a dope record. The record is dope. Sound-wise, how it sounds, the production, it's a dope song. But India Arie was saying that pretty much India Arie just said, look, we need to stop glorifying street life, crimes. Let's evolve. Let's get into our higher selves, right? Because how else are we going to evolve if we just keep perpetuating the same negative stereotypes and negative qualities? How are we gonna change? How are we gonna evolve and level up if we don't do that? And I'm with India Arie, but I also love music, right? This is why this is very hard for me. And plus, it's hard for me for two reasons, because I'm grown enough to know better, right? I'm 39. I have 4 kids. I can listen to a King Von slide record, right? And listen to it just like it's a movie or something, even though it's not a movie, because music is definitely, even though it's entertainment, it's something different than movies. But I can listen to a drill song and not want to go on a drill. I can listen to any song, right, and take it with a grain of salt and not want to do what they're talking about in the records. But there's a big but here. Pause. A younger me, a 7 that was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, or even younger, 13, 12, these type of songs would have stayed with me, would have stayed in my heart, in my mind, I would have wanted to do these things. I would have thought that to be a man, I had to do these things, or that I wouldn't be accepted unless I did these things. And that's what kids really take with them. And that's the part of me that is like, no, we need to get rid of this shit. We got to get rid of this shit, because the next generation is going to think that's what they have to do to be somebody, or to be accepted, or to be cool. This is what they got to do. Not this is what they want to do. This is what they got to do, because everybody wants to be accepted. Everybody wants to be recognized and accepted, right? But if we're sending out the wrong message of things that the next generation has to do to be accepted, that's where we're going wrong. And so, like I said, I'm a fan of music. And a lot of times people like to point out, well, Quentin Tarantino can make a bloody, gory movie where people are getting unalived left and right, and nobody says he's negative to the culture or to people. But movies and music are two different things. I mean, movies, there is a preconceived notion or acceptance that this is a made up thing. This is not. These are actors playing a part. The actors that you see playing out these scenes, everybody knows that it's an act. Except for maybe kids. Some kids when they're at a certain age, they believe that movies are real. But besides that, it's known that these are actors playing a part. This is not their real life. That this is not even an image that they're pushing. This is just a set of scenes that they're acting out, right? So music is different though. When the artist is not looked at like an actor. An artist is presenting an image and pushing out an image that they want to be portrayed as this is who they really are, right? I think that's the key difference between movies and music. And music definitely, I believe, affects people's lives on a more grander scale and on a more day-to-day level. I think someone said it. I think Diddy said it years ago. He said, what did he say? Pretty much, I make music. I make lifestyle music, or music that you can live life to, right? And people, we all get in our cars, we play our music, we get in our modes, we have ear pods in, we go to work, we listen to this music, and it affects us emotionally, spiritually. It affects us on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour level. Music affects us through commercials, through movies, through radio, through this right here, the phone, YouTube, social media. Throughout our day, we're hearing songs, and it affects you. It affects your subconscious. It affects your mental. It can put you in a certain frequency. I always say, music can make you hate the world and people in it, or it can make you love the world and people in it, right? Depending on what song you're listening to, because there are songs that will inspire brotherly love and loving everybody, and there are songs that talk about, if a nigga look at me wrong, I'ma up the and fire on him, right? So these songs, these songs that are pushing a negative image and a negative message of hurting people, of gang banging, of being weary about any and everybody, being paranoid about any and everybody, and how you can't trust nobody, right? The kids and younger people, younger adults, young teens, they take that message to heart and they believe that message, just like I did when I was their age, right? But now that I'm old enough to know better, I hear the truth when a D1 speaks about how these artists, like a Rick Ross, like a Jim Jones, even though I rock with Jim Jones, like a Rick Ross and all these older artists who are clearly millionaires. They're not in the street life at all. They don't sell drugs, but still in their music today, they talk about gangbanging. They talk about selling drugs. Still, at 50 years old, they're talking about gangbanging and selling drugs, when that's not what they do. They're portraying a false image. Yeah, you did that, but you're speaking about it like you still do it, though, in the present tense. That's where I think it's wrong. The glorification of it is what I think is wrong. And it rings true to me when, like, a Charleston, even though I ain't Charleston White, he said some of the most disrespectful shit that I don't rock with him. But the one thing I did agree with him on is how he went on at rappers who made a living on bringing down the community or putting black men in jail, like a Jeezy, like even though these are some of the artists I grew up on and loved their records still to this day, like a Young Jeezy. That Thug Motivation 101, classic. But did it put more people in jail because they was trying to achieve the status that Young Jeezy was talking about? Hell yeah, it did. Hell yeah. You know how many people was trying to be Trapper of the Year because Young Jeezy made a song called Trapper of the, like. So it rings true to me that, yes, while we have done this, right, we have done this in the past where we have, and really the real life affects the music, right? So Young Miami, she's talking about boosting, talking about scamming and all these things, but it's not like it's something that she just made up and nobody does, right? That's not what it is. These are things that people actually do. But when you make a song like a Spin That, when it's like a party, it's like a good feeling party record, summer record, but you're speaking about criminal things as if it's a party or a good time, that's what I believe is wrong. And I like the record. I believe she could have made that same record, the same tone, how she's rapping, the same beat, without glorifying boosting. or without glorifying scamming. She could have made that exact same record, just changed a few words or changed the topic. She could have made that exact same record. But I like the record though. This is why I have such a hard time. This is why, because I love music. I love music in all forms, all forms. So, do I think we need to boycott rap music or rap music like a Young Miami or like drill music or gangster music, right? I know I don't think so, but I believe if artists like this, like Tupac right here, like, right? Because Tupac, he would say some of the most wild shit, but he would also give you the real. He would also give you his higher self. He didn't just talk about gangster shit. He delved deep into what we as a people needed to do to change and what our faults are and what we need to get right. He made a song called Changes, one of my favorite records ever. Talking about a guy selling drugs to kids. And he doesn't glorify. He doesn't say, hey, you selling drugs to kids? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, all the niggas selling drugs to kids. What's up? Like, he ain't saying that. He said, you selling crack to the kids. Yeah, I got to get paid. Well, hey, well, that's the way it is, right? Saying in that situation, he's speaking about it in real life terms. He's saying, look, man, you selling crack to kids, dog. And the other guy answers, he says, yeah, I got to get paid though. Like, I'm broke. Right? This is what I have to do to survive, right? And in that sense, when you put it in a real life context where people can distinguish, like, all right, they're not glorifying this and saying this is what you need to do to be cool, or they're not saying this is a cool thing, but this is something I had to do to survive. That, in that light, I believe there's nothing wrong with that. It's when you glorify the gangbang and the drug dealing. I'm the richest. I sold 1 million bricks on the street, and it's when you glorify it. That's where I have a problem with it. I believe if every artist kept it real with themselves and really talked about how they feel in their heart and how and the life that they are really living, or were really real about the life, if they were in the streets. If they talk about it or rap about it or make music about it in a real way, we wouldn't be having these conversations. Everybody would understand what's going on. But yeah, I do believe we need to evolve. We need to tap into our higher selves for sure. I want nothing but the best for our people. Straight up. I want nothing but the best for every black man, woman, and child in America and on the earth. And I believe glorifying these criminal activities just leads more people to jail cells. And I've been to jail. Trust me, that's the last place you want to be. So that's my take, y'all. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. 7-day. We got memberships, $1.99 a month. You do sign up for the membership. I will shout your name out in every video. Shout out to John Paul. Keep your head up and your eyes open. I'm out.
You're now listening to the 7-day.